We call this collection Timeless Treasures, and I bet you're going to agree. We have ribbons, papers, large dazzles. We have some paper flowers and framed foiled fancies. Let's get started showing you. Let me scoot these aside. We're going to start with the papers because that's always the basis of our creativity. These are 80-pound paper. They are double-sided. There are 12 sheets. I'm going to show them to you. Because they're hot off the press, you're going to get scrapbook ideas as well as card ideas, both on the front of the package and even more on the back side. How good is that? Let me show you the papers. Timeless treasures. Okay, you're going to see vintage things. You're going to see flowers. You're going to see ghosted back, maybe postcards, words. Do you see the ledger kind of ghosted back there also? Timeless treasures, well, that's right there directly on the paper. Kind of has a linen look, and you can see that's overlaid onto the floral. And then there's some distressing on the edges too, so just beautifully done. So this is one. We're going to go to a second. Now this is the dark green, as you can see, with an all-over pattern. Again, it has a textured look to it. Then we have this ledger paper. We're going to have to back up because this you really want to see in its entirety. You can see Timeless Treasure is up there. We've got some roses coming in and this gorgeous sepia tone paper. Very, very fun. You can see the old-fashioned writing on it. Now we also have florals. Isn't that beautiful? An all-over pattern. Again, it has linen behind it and kind of a stripe behind it too, or a check behind it. And yet the flowers are really the focal point. Then we're going to have another, now this is kind of a trellis, kind of looks like an old-fashioned wallpaper in the greens, and this has, it goes darker as we get to the edges, as you can see. It's kind of like it's been already aged for you, so you don't have to bother doing that. Nice way to go. And then we have a stripe, and this stripe is very thin, and it goes all the way, and again there's some kind of tea staining on the edges, so it just gives another vintage look. As I flip these over, you're going to see a whole variety of other patterns. Here we have a dot, and why a dot? Because they're just so doggone useful and they work so well. Look at this motif, all of these images all placed on this paper. Now you can cut these apart, you can use them individually. I'll tell you, they're going to be great for card making too. Isn't that just absolutely a treasure trove? Then we have this one that is the ivory, but over here on the corner we have every picture records a story. That's kind of the hallmark of what we do, isn't it? Again, it's been slightly inked on the edges just to be beautiful for you. We have another dot, but this time we also have a flourish over here in the corner. These edges too are slightly darker and beautiful with the tan and brown combination. Then we have an all-over pattern that's going to work very, very nicely for you in the colors that are complementary. And then we have a tone-on-tone. So this is a flourish and all-over pattern. So that is all 12 of the patterns on 6 sheets. You're going to get 2 of each. Let me bring in the ribbons while we have this in front of us. There are 12. There are 36 inches each. We're going to have a variety of ribbons. This is the glitter velvet. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's going to work so beautifully with this in a brown color. We also have a sheer, again in the brown, and that's going to work nicely. We have a ladder, not a ladder, this mesh, and this will slightly curl on the ends. It just does that naturally, as you can see. Oh, we've got another glitter ribbon. Beautiful in this soft yellow. Okay, that's going to look beautiful. As you can see, we have crepes in several colors and in several widths. There's actually 4 of them here, including the brown, and as you can tell. Then, as I lift these up, you can see that we have a metallic yellow in that soft color. We also have a very tiny gingham in the red. Oh, there's another sheer, sorry, in the 4/4 inch, and then a sheer swirl. So all of these are going to complement perfectly. They are selected especially every single time to coordinate with the papers. Speaking of coordinating with the papers, let me bring in some other elements. I couldn't believe how perfectly these flowers match. They're just, it's like they were made to match. And so we've added these. These are about 1.5 inches wide, and you do get the leaves with them too. They just make a beautiful statement, especially with these papers. Speaking of going with the papers, we have this set of 79 8x9 Dazzles. These are the larger Dazzles. You're getting 2 sheets. Now we brought in the copper, but it also has a gold foil. So you can see Legacy of Love and that giant kind of doily, and I'm going to show you a page using that. We've got some cars, we've got keys, we've got clocks, we've got words, we've got borders. Well, of course we do. We have all of them. And on the package, you're going to see a scrapbook page as well as a card and more scrapbooking to get you started. In addition, we added the foiled fancies, this time in frames. So you're going to get 24 frames. Now the foiled fancies are die cut, they are embossed, and they're foiled. It's kind of the best of all worlds, and it's very sturdy. You can kind of hear, and I'm not bending this at all. It's just really very, very sturdy. It's a hard board, and on the back of the package, what do you think you're going to get? Well, of course, you're going to get ideas. We love tapping them with an ink pad. You can see the results right there. We love stamping on them. You'll see the results right there. There are just so many things that you can do, and you know, they're gorgeous just as they come. Okay, that is the Timeless Treasure collection. Well, let's see what you can do with it. We'll start with a card, and this is just a beautiful example of the Dazzles, the flowers, the papers, and the ribbons all together. Isn't that gorgeous? We did add a 6-inch paper doily there, and you can see the foiled fancy. Also, the frames do well as a label. So that's quite gorgeous. Here's one of the cards. I thought it might be fun for you to see that the car on a card, and that's working well. There is a second car, and here's what a card might look like. Remember, every picture records a story. That works well not only on a scrapbook page, but also on a card. And I love that stripe in the background, beautifully done with the Dazzles. Here's that same car on a scrapbook page, and you can see how the foiled fancies, those frames just beautifully take care of a photograph, whether it's an older photograph like this or a newer one. The Dazzles just add beautiful accents, and they stay nice and flat and lightweight on your pages. And you can see memories there backed with paper. So this is a heritage photo, but you can also go contemporary with these. So there's a photo, or several photos, again using the foiled fancy frames. This time it's been stamped with white ink. Isn't that pretty? With the coordinating fancy pattern stamp. And you can see the Dazzles, and you can see the flowers. Don't they look gorgeous? Again, we added another paper doily, a 6-inch one, Once Upon a Lifetime, and more of the foiled fancies right there. So beautiful. Or you can also take a contemporary photo, turn it sepia tone, and have kind of an older look. Isn't that fun? And don't the Dazzles do a great job of accenting along with those beautiful, beautiful papers? And this, I told you I would show you that great big doily, whoops, and there it is on a page, Legacy of Love, as this couple is celebrating an anniversary or just a day together. Again, the papers just do so much to support the theme and the sentiment of those papers. Now, we've got the download. Here we go. You can see all of the images, easy to cut out. We've designed them to be that way for you. You can use them as often as you want. Go to paperwishes.com, go to the Timeless Treasures, and you'll see the free download there. Again, Timeless Treasures, they're for today and they're for yesterday. So it's a nice mix of everything all together just for you.